Adam Taxin with Daniel Greenfield, whose columns can be found at sultankanish.blogspot.com. His column for today, July 24th, 2012, is How Romney Can Win This Election. Daniel, hello. Well, first question's easy. How can Romney win this election?
What Romney is going to have to do, he's going to have to get away from the style of campaign that he did during the primaries, which was heavy on negative attacks and big on basically being the default choice. Because in this case, he's certainly not the default choice, not in this kind of media and cultural environment. And he's actually going to have to do more than negative attacks. Obviously, attacking Obama's record is important and has a major place. But he's going to actually have to sell America as positives. He's actually going to have to be inspirational. And he's going to have to reassure a large segment of voters we're not really going to vote on the issues who are looking for some kind of a sense of security, and he's going to have to provide that. Which means he's going to have to do with some of the hope and faith thing, too.
How does that fit in with general marketing practice? You have it broken down in your column.
Yes, I do. Well, when it comes to buying, to generalize widely, there are two kinds of shoppers. There are the people who walk into a store and know what they want right away. They ignore all the gimmicks and the tricks that the stores use to manipulate people into buying things they don't want. They go right to the section. They already have everything researched. They buy the product. They walk out of the store. Those are the kind of customers that stores hate. But it's also the kind of people who are most likely to vote for Romney already because they've already done the math. They know how bad the economy is. Even if they didn't vote for the Republican last time around, they're going to vote for change this time around just on the practical grounds that things can't go on this way. But on the other hand, you have the more emotional shoppers, the kind of people who don't necessarily research that much, but who want to feel good about a product. And 90% of advertising, maybe even 99% of advertising, targets this group. This is the group that can be influenced. This is the group that can be manipulated. And this is the group that really reacts to looking for that kind of sense of self-confidence, the self-esteem from attaching themselves to a product. This is the group that values brands. And this is the group that Romney has to win over because this is the group that goes for Obama.
Tell us about the general concept of self-confidence and how that relates to the presidents and presidential candidates over the last 100 years or so.
Well, again, generally speaking, people either have a strong internal sense of self-confidence or they try to get it from external things. So, for example, the person who has a strong sense of self-confidence knows what he wants or knows what she wants and is going to go out and get that thing. The person who has a poor sense of self-confidence can easily become addicted to shopping. They get their self-confidence from being attached to a popular brand, which is like Obama, because Obama is a very popular brand, but it can be Apple, it can be any number of other brands that make them feel like they know what they're doing, and they derive self-esteem from that brand.
Yeah, I often think of that in a more sophisticated way. Even a TV show that they watch, I find that a lot of people who aren't that bright like the brand of Jon Stewart and The Daily Show because it makes them feel like they're some sort of smart elite, and they love quoting it more than people who are actually very self-confident about their own intelligence. Just something I've picked up.
Absolutely. TV shows like that, I mean, how many people claim to have watched The Wire who didn't watch it, but use that as a kind of brand? I mean, it's books, it's plays, it's movies, it's a lot of things. But it's that sense of I'm wearing the right clothes, I have the right things. These things make me feel good about myself because I'm told that they make me feel good about myself. These people really have a very poor identity.
Yeah, it even relates.
And Obama's giant egotism helps uphold their identity.
Yeah, it's part of you're buying the I'm not a racist, and it's almost like I'm not one of those trashy people on Jersey Shore, therefore I watch Jersey Shore and laugh at people. But one final question. There's been a lot of criticism from the right in particular about Obama's advisors, and how have they done based on the criteria you mentioned here in terms of Romney projecting confidence and also diminishing his opponent's confidence? What kind of grade would you give them at this point?
It's hard to really give them a grade because they're not doing most of the heavy lifting. When you have a completely and totally compliant media, then the playing field has already been completely unbalanced. So all you really have to do is feed a compliant media a few talking points, and the media really will spend a lot of its time making up its own talking points.
Well, with that in mind, they knew that.
Yeah, but working within this kind of environment is hard. So just relying on negative attacks isn't enough, and you have to actually you have to actually do what Bush Jr. and what Reagan did, which is actually present yourself as an inspiring figure. That's hard, but it is doable because personality can win in elements where just throwing personal attacks makes it look like everybody's throwing mud all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly seems at this point that they've been less successful in muddying up Romney. You know, what do they say? He's a very successful businessman. He's outsourced and had Swiss bank accounts, as opposed to Bush, who they presented as dumb, Quayle, as they presented as dumb, Reagan, as they presented as dumb. They're not being Palin, who they presented as dumb. They're not able to use the typical Republican talking point. They can't even use crazy like they do against Michelle Bachmann. They just say he has Swiss bank accounts. So he's been, I think, fairly successful. Is that fair to say?
It's fair, but they'll use all of those attacks anyway. I mean, a month or two from now, you'll see attacks claiming that the Romney campaign is crazy, that it's psychotic, that it's filled with hate, because all the stuff got directed at McCain where it was also completely inappropriate and didn't remotely reflect the reality. But they're going to say that Romney used to be a moderate, now he's gone completely... He's become a completely insane right-winger to pander to the right and that sort of thing. We're going to see a repeat. I'm just
saying it's July and nothing's really stuck yet. And I would say with McCain, they also made him a little bit old and soft, which I think a lot of it is that Romney has accomplished more in life than Bush and McCain have. There's no question he's a winner in life, where you could raise those questions about the others based on their college records, etc. If only that. But anyhow, that's my opinion.
But keep in mind, it's not really going to come down to the facts. It's going to come down, especially for this type of emotional voter, it's going to come down to how things are presented. You can take an absolute failure who has accomplished absolutely nothing in life, like Obama, and if you present him the right way, he looks like the next big thing. And you can take somebody who actually did accomplish something in life and make him look like a failure. So a lot of this really comes down to the personality that a person projects, which is not fair, but that's life.
Okay. The column is How Romney Can Win This Election. It will be able to be found, if you're listening the afternoon of July 24th to this. It actually won't be available till late night tonight. And it can be found at sultankanish.blogspot.com. Daniel, as always, thank you for your time.